Good morning, students. It's Riya Sana, your history teacher. Welcome to you all in today's audio-visual class. In the previous classes, we revised our chapter number 3 of geography, that is our changing earth. So, first of all, let's summarize it up. In the previous classes, we discussed about lithospheric plates. The Earth's crust consists of several large and small, rigid, irregularly shaped plates which carry continents and the ocean floor, called lithospheric plates. These plates move around very slowly, just a few millimeters each year, because of the movement of the molten magma inside the Earth. The Earth movements are divided on the basis of the forces which cause them. We discussed about two forces here. First is endogenic forces, the forces which act in the interior of the Earth, and the second one is exogenic forces, the forces that work on the surface of the Earth. The meaning of endogenic, literal meaning is endo means inside and genic means origin. So endogenic forces sometimes produce sudden movements and at the other times produce slow movements. Sudden movements like earthquakes and volcanoes cause mass destruction over the surface of the Earth. We talked about volcano also. A volcano is a vent or opening in the Earth's crust through which molten material erupts suddenly. Then another kind of mass destruction which caused by the sudden movement is earthquake. When the lithospheric plates move, the surface of the Earth vibrates, whose vibration can travel all around the Earth. And these vibrations are called earthquakes. The place in the crust where the movement starts is called the focus, and the place above the focus is called the epicenter. So next is exogenic force, whose literal meaning is exo means outside and genic means origin. Then we discussed about major landforms. The landscape is being continuously worn away by two processes. First is weathering and the second is erosion. Weathering is the breaking up of the rocks on the Earth's surface, and erosion is the wearing away of the landscape by different agents like water, wind and ice. Okay, now work of a river. The running water in the river erodes the landscape. When the river tumbles at steep angle over very hard rocks or down a steep valley side, it forms a waterfall. After that, we discussed about various features of a river, in which we discussed about delta, distributaries, levees, oxbow lake, meanders and so on. Then in the next part of the chapter, we discussed about work of sea waves, in which we came to know that the erosion and deposition of the sea waves gives rise to coastal landforms. These sea waves continuously strike at the rocks, cracks develop, and they become larger and wider. Thus, hollow-like caves are formed on the rocks, which are called sea caves. These cavities become bigger and bigger, only the roof of the caves remain over time, which results in the formation of sea arcs. Further erosion breaks the roof and only walls are left. These wall-like features are called stacks. And the steep, rocky coast rising almost vertically above seawater is called sea cliff. Then the sea waves deposit sediments along the shores, forming beaches. Again, we discussed about work of ice, in the previous class also. Now we are going to discuss it again here for you all. A glacier is a large mass of ice continuously moving over land surface which to erode the landscape by bulldozing soil and stones to expose the solid rock below. The material carried by the glaciers such as rocks, big and small, sand and silt gets deposited, and these deposits form glacier moraines. Glaciers carve out deep hollows. As the ice melts, they get filled up with water and become beautiful lakes in the mountains. Now we are going to discuss work of wind. An active agent of erosion and deposition in the desert is wind always. In deserts, rocks are present in the shape of a mushroom, commonly called mushroom rocks. And when winds erode the lower section of the rock more than the upper part, therefore such rocks have narrower base and wider top. And when the winds blows, it lifts and transports sand from one place to another. And when it stops blowing, the sand falls and gets deposited in low hill-like structures, which are called sand dunes. When such sand is deposited in large areas, it is called loess, in which we have discussed that large deposit of loess is found in China. Okay, so all these contents we already came to know, or we already understood in our chapter when we have discussed it earlier. So today we are going to discuss question answer of this chapter. See question number 1, which is answer the following question. See, in first number, why do the plates move? Here obviously we are talking about lithospheric plates. Answer is, the plates move because of the movement of molten magma inside the earth. Now you all know that there are molten magma which are present inside our earth. So whenever these molten magma move, then our lithospheric plates also move. See the second question. What are exogenic and endogenic forces? We discussed it repeatedly, so I think you all know the answer. Answer is, the forces that work on the surface of the earth are called exogenic forces, and the forces that work inside the surface of the earth are called endogenic forces. The forces that work on the surface of the earth, which work on our surface of the earth, are called exogenic forces, and the forces that work inside the surface of the earth are called endogenic forces. See the third number. What is erosion? The wearing away of the landscape by different agents like water, wind and ice is called erosion. Fourth is, how are floodplains formed? Answer is, when the river overflows its banks, leads to the flooding of the neighboring areas, which deposits layers of fine soil and other material called sediments along its banks. This leads to the formation of a flat, fertile floodplain. Okay, now see the fifth number. What are sand dunes? The low hill-like structure formed by the deposition of sand at one place and by wind in the desert is called sand dunes. Sixth number is, how are beaches formed? Answer is, the sea waves deposit sediments along the shores, which leads to the formation of beach. Whenever the sea waves come and deposit its sediments along the shores, then this lead to the formation of beach. Seventh number is, what are oxbow lakes? Answer is, due to continuous erosion and deposition along the sides of the meander, the ends of the meander loops comes closer, which is sometimes cut off lake called an oxbow lake. Oxbow lake is sometimes also called cut off lake because basically whenever deposition formed meander, the end of the meander loops whenever comes closer, then it cuts off from the main stream of the river and forms an oxbow lake. Now see question number 2 of your exercise. Second question is, tick the correct answer. First number is, which is not an erosional feature of sea waves? A number is cliff, B is beach, and C is sea caves. So here obviously the correct answer is B, that is beach. Beach is not an erosional feature of sea waves. It is depositional feature. Second number is, the depositional feature of a glacier is, A number is floodplain, B is beach, and C is moraine. So answer should be C, that is moraine. Glacier moraine is the depositional feature of a glacier. See the third number, which is caused by the sudden movements of the earth. A is volcano, B is folding, and C is floodplain. Obviously you all know the answer. Here correct answer is A, that is volcano. Volcano and earthquakes are major out effects, we can say, which we experience by the sudden movements of the earth. Fourth number is, mushroom rocks are found in, A is desert, B is river valleys, and C is glaciers. So here answer is A, that is desert. Fifth number is oxbow lakes. Oxbow lakes are found in, A is glaciers, B is river valleys, and C is deserts. Correct answer is B, that is river valleys. Now see question number 3, match the following. First is glacier, match it with C number, that is river of ice. Second number is meanders, match it with D number, that is river. Third is beach, match it with A number, that is seashore. Fourth is sand dunes, match it with H number, that is desert. Fifth is waterfall, match it with F number, which is hard rocks. And the last one, sixth number, is earthquake, match it with E number, vibrations of earth. Now fourth question of your exercise is, give reasons. A statement is given here, you have to find reason why it is said like this. See first number, some rocks have a shape of a mushroom. Why some rocks have a shape of a mushroom? You have to give reason of it. Answer is, in desert, wind is an active agent for erosion which erode the lower section of the rock more than the upper part. Therefore, some rocks have a shape of mushroom. See second number, floodplains are very fertile. Why floodplains are very fertile? See the answer. Floodplains are very fertile because flood deposits layers of fine soil and other materials called sediments, which is ideal for cultivation along its banks. Third number is sea caves are turned into stacks. Answer is when cavities in sea caves become bigger and bigger only, the roof of the caves remain forming sea arcs. Further, erosion breaks the roof and only walls are left which form the stacks. Okay, now last one, fourth number. Building collapse due to earthquakes. Answer is during earthquakes, vibration travels outwards from the epicenter as waves and propagate through the surface of the earth, which produce sudden movements that lead to the collapse of buildings. Okay, now I hope that you all understood this chapter very well. We have completed our revision of this chapter also. Those who have not written question answer till now, please write it down from here and please learn it properly. You have to learn all these question answers. This is your homework. In the next class, we will revise another chapter of geography. Till then, stay at home, stay safe. Thank you. Have a nice day.